What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Batter's Eye. I'm super happy to be back. We have Nate back, first time in a while for you guys, and we're here with a really big guest. I'm super happy to have him on. Introduce yourself. Tell us what school you're at, what year you're at, class you're in, and what position you play.
I'm Marek Houston. I play at Wake Forest University. I'm a junior. I'm a shortstop.
Yeah, and for those of you guys who don't know, you guys can watch him every weekend on ESPN Plus, doing some pretty incredible things that we'll talk about. One of the best players this season. Talk about some accolades. Just for those of you guys who have seen him on TV, he was one of the freshman that started every game for Wake Forest in the 2022 year where they made the College World Series. And he came back last year and was one of the best players on the team where they were ranked and had a great year. And this year he's come back and done it again where he is, sorry about that, he is one of the best players in the country, hitting 400 through the first half of the season, being one of the best defenders, showing off the power. And we're going to talk about all that and more. So let's get right into it. Nate, you have the first question. I know you have something you want to ask.
Yeah, Eric. Let's start with your high school recruitment. You were a top 120 player in the country. You had schools looking at you. What made you choose Wake Forest over all these other top schools who were looking to recruit you and bring you to their roster?
Yeah, so in high school, I played for a team called the O Stingers over the summer. And one of those guys I would go hit with every weekend was Brock Wilkin. So if you guys don't know Brock Wilkin, he played here a couple of years ago. He's like the home run champion here at Wake.
Yeah.
But he's a kid from Tampa, Florida. So I mean, I would go hit with his uncle all the time. So he kind of had a good influence on that. He loved the coaches, and I mean, I had a great relationship with the coaches, and just hearing them talk about how great Wake Forest was kind of was the deal for me. So.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Brock, before Nate and I actually worked together, I had Brock on, I think, twice. I think I had him on once during the season and once after he got drafted. We had Camden on that year as well. A lot of the guys from that team, that was really when I first started getting into college baseball. And yeah, I mean, talked about that at some of the hitting sessions there. I know Pete Alonso in the session with you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that was maybe after. But in high school, it was kind of like a drive up there. It's probably like a 45-minute drive on the weekend over the summers or something like that. Just, hit at the high school up there. So it was good. I don't think P. Alonso was there when I went, but that'd be pretty cool.
He did tell us, yeah, he had a story about that. So I had to ask if that was the same time and maybe. But obviously moving forward with that, going into Wake Forest, like I said, as a freshman that year, you started every game. And that's something that not many freshmen get the chance to do. And what was that like going in there in the fall and kind of earning that opportunity and going into the season, getting told that, hey, this is yours, your job to lose. And then going into every game with the team that you guys had, obviously went on a roll and was one of the best teams in the country. Won, I think it was 54 games, something like that, and ended up making a run deep into Omaha. What are some of those things that you could take with you? Obviously, being so young, and moving forward with that. It's hard to taste defeat in any way, but some great games that you guys were a part of, some classics that you can look back on and watch, and a lot of things to learn. So, what are some things that you took from that moving forward?
Yeah, it's kind of a lot about the guys that I played with, just kind of who they were and like how they went about things. It was kind of like when I got there, it's like everybody kind of had a spot already, and like the one spot that was in question was like shortstop and second base. And being a middle infielder coming in as a freshman, I tried to earn that spot, do everything I could to earn that spot, and I think um, first first couple games in the season, and I was getting like switched around. Wasn't They weren't sure who was going to fill the role there, and ended up winning it, and kind of just took that as like a kind of what can I do to help the team. And since I wasn't hitting too great at the time, I would just do that with defense, play that as well as the best I could on defense, and that's kind of how I filled the role there. I mean, the offense we had there that year. So I mean, I was doing everything I could just to win ball games, and it worked pretty good. Made it to Omaha. That was a great experience. That's something I'll take later into this year when we get to that time, and probably the rest of my career. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, winning experience and culture is something that is, very,
Mhm.
very good to learn early and have to stick around with you. Nate, I know you had something that you wanted to say.
Not anything about that, but I have another question. We can move on to the summer. When you summer ball, you played at the Cape. The Cape's the best summer league, arguably. I just want you to talk about some experiences with the Cape throughout your college career, and what's some things you could take away from it.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool experience because you play. I mean, for me, it played with a lot of guys that I play against. So it's cool to meet those guys, and I mean, play with guys around the country. Like we were playing with guys from like Oregon, out west, and stuff like that. So I mean, that was pretty cool to get to hear from them and like how their programs are over there. But I mean, it kind of just blends like college baseball. Like you see how different players play. It's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of different pitching too. It's kind of old school, I would say. You don't get the original scouting report you get before every game here. So I mean, it's kind of going back to it felt like when you were younger, when you just go out there and try and play and don't worry so much about like the scouting report, like who's got what, who's coming in after that. Yeah, you just kind of go out there and play and compete. So that's kind of what I took away from that summer is it's definitely a great experience, and that experience helps me to this year. I'm just playing with all those guys and that high competition.
Yeah, and something I want to talk about, just like you said, playing and making adjustments leading into, this year, the competition of the season where things aren't as different. It's more traditional. But what are some adjustments you made in the past two summers? Because both years you've had tremendous improvements, specifically, like you said, at the plate. You noticed that you struggled in your freshman year. And last year, I think you could see, obviously, the work that you put in. And this year, even making strides from what you did last year, the power has jumped off the plate. You've surged in average, even doing a lot more than what you thought you could have done maybe as a freshman. But what unlocked those changes? What adjustments did you have to make in the offseason? And what is, some stuff that you can do now that you have this traditional setting of baseball that allows you to help you make those adjustments and do that?
Yeah. So going off my freshman year, yeah, we knew we had stuff to work on. There was like some stuff in my swing that wasn't too great for the college level. So we kind of took that year to like work on that. Like we were working on all kinds of things, like where I put my hands, like just stuff like that, kind of simple things. And I kind of took that to this summer. That freshman summer, I played in Amsterdam, New York,
Yeah.
um, and had really good success there. Just kind of working on stuff with Wes, just like talking over the phone, trying it in the games and stuff like that. So just kind of learning and kind of doing what feels right. And then that kind of carried over to my sophomore year where I had some good success doing that. So we kind of built it from there. And even after that year, that we took some stuff that I noticed in the Cape. Like there was some stuff like bad habits I was getting in the Cape. Just from being out there every day, you don't get a regular routine. You're not in an indoor batting cage. You're taking like 3 rounds of BP. So I mean, when I got back after that, there was some stuff to work on also. So kind of just and going off the power standpoint, we kind of looked at stuff that could translate to more power in my swing. So that was kind of more standing upright, kind of fixing where my hands were and like how I hit the baseball pretty much. So for overall, it worked for me and hit really good this fall, and then it's translated over to this season where I'm feeling really great about everything. So
Yeah, I definitely, obviously, it's very noticeable. If you look at stuff from the freshman year, games from the freshman year to now, I think, especially with the lower half, it's clear you worked on that, keeping it more compact, straight to the ball, but also following through with the upper half. And this year, what I wanted to ask about, just unlocking that power, what has what were you specifically able to do that allowed you to unlock that, but also not lose the, average and the touch to hitting to all fields? Because the on base percentage, even, and everything about this year is incredible. I mean, I'm not going to read the stats off. I know it's people can look at it. You can go and look at the stats. It speaks for itself. But what has led to that success this year, and what has led to you being able to kind of just do everything? Because it's pretty hard to see players unlock all those tools.
yeah, I think some of it's just getting older, getting a little bit more mature, and staying in the weight room. So that was definitely part of it. But I think I've always been really good at like a hand eye, like making contact with the baseball. It was just kind of the intent behind it. It's kind of just switching like my approach to like doing damage instead of just trying to hit the ball.
Yeah.
I think that's really where I noticed um, some power come in last year. I think that's where I was trying to do. I was doing that more, and then even more this year, where it's kind of I'm in there. First couple of strikes, I'm trying to double or a homer instead of just trying to put it on the ground or like for a single, try and make contact for it. So I think that may help that transition to power for sure. And that's kind of how my approach has changed over the years. So.
Yeah. Nate, you have
So,
anything?
yeah, I want to go back to last summer again. You participated in the Stars vs Stripes inter squad to represent the country. I just want you to take me through what it was like to play with some of the best in the country. Not everyone gets to do that, and I just want to take me through some of the experiences of that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Hearing that I got that opportunity, I was pretty excited. And when I got there, it was the best players in the country. Like the top players in the country. So I mean, that was cool to see those guys and like playing against them. That was awesome. And in a cool setting too. It was like um, 4th of July night game fireworks. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So that was pretty cool. That's definitely something I'm going to remember the rest of my life. And yeah, I take that experience till for my career. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Something that now I want to kind of move into before we talk about going past this year and moving forward. Maybe it's just something that I've seen and I've thought, and I wonder maybe you have the same thoughts, maybe you have a different opinion, but I feel like maybe you've been a little underrated in the past. Just even going into this year. I mean, for someone that covers the sport, wasn't much film. Just specifically, you could search your name, you could see, all the Wheels games, the Wake Forest games, it's there, but do you feel has that put a chip on your shoulder? Have you felt the same? Have you felt a little underrated, especially compared to some of the guys at some of the schools that have gotten hype? And I don't not to say that they don't deserve the hype that they're getting because other guys are killing it in the sport. But do you feel that you deserve some of that same hype? And does that put a chip on your shoulder and motivate you every day?
I would say, I mean, I don't really try to think about it like that. I mean, Nick Kurtz, and then Seaver King on my team last year. So I mean, it's hard not to notice those guys, the
Yeah,
players that they are. But I wouldn't say I think about that this year or like last year. It was kind of just me going out there trying to like prove the player I could be. Because my freshman year, I feel like I didn't really establish that. So last year was kind of just getting a little into that, and then I think I would say my in high school I would say I was a little underrated. That was the only time I kind of thought kind of had a chip on my shoulder or something like that. But yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's a good way to put it because going into this year, definitely the way you said it, Seaver King, Nick Kurtz, also Chase Burns, obviously can't forget he was there in your freshman year as well, or last year as well. Sorry, forgetting the timelines. I know he went Tennessee to Wake. Switch that around there, but it's hard not to get not even overshadowed, but the hype that some of these guys get and the way college baseball works. I mean, the draft year is the year that these guys get seen, especially for the most part. So I get what you're saying, but yeah, in high school even as well. Looking at it, 120th recruit. I mean, I don't see 120 guys doing things that you're doing out there for sure. So moving forward with that, like I said, I wanted to kind of talk about the process that you have coming up with the draft process. Obviously, looking at the season first, the goal is a national championship, but there's a lot to look forward to and be excited about. Has there, been things that you've really liked so far about that process, or is there anything else that you're looking forward to that you want to, talk about?
I mean, I think the thing that I noticed is that I think is pretty cool too is like we have our fall meetings. And like the past 2 years, like you don't deal anything with scouts or anything like that. You don't talk to them, but this year they kind of get to know you a little bit more before the season and stuff like that. So I mean, I enjoyed those. Some people think those are kind of like annoying, but I enjoy those. I think there's different things about different organizations that make them kind of stand out, and I think it was cool to kind of get into that and understand some of those things. So.
Hmm. Yeah. Nate, anything you want to ask about that process?
What's the most overwhelming thing about being a top recruit in the country? So for the MLB top prospect.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just kind of, I wouldn't say it's kind of from a draft standpoint, but like just being an older guy on your team, just kind of having to kind of have that in the background and then trying to lead a team. I'd say that's kind of a little, I mean, that's something you think about. It's hard, like you don't want to think about it, but you think about it sometimes. But yeah, I mean, the team comes first. Just trying to teach those younger guys like what it means to be like at Wake Forest, what it means to wear that across your chest and stuff like that. So I mean, that's the kind of stuff I look at. Kind of try to throw that out the window and just think about the guys that are coming through, just like the older guys did for me when I was a freshman. Just what they taught me and like what values they took. That definitely is what I'm challenged with right now. So
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good way to look at it in the sense that keep the team first, but also the way that the guy, especially with the guys that you had there in your freshman year, like you said with Brock and with some of the other guys that got drafted, the way they have kept their head about it and the run that you guys made doing that, it only helps them also, only
yeah,
boosts you guys' stock. So for sure. Now, moving forward, before we go into our rapid fire and we do our pick 'em, I want to ask just about some goals that you have for the rest of the season. We're halfway through right now. Whether it's individual or obviously we know the main team goal, win it all. But any other goals, if you have maybe three on your mind that you could think of that you want to accomplish, whether it's by the end of this season or it could be broader than that. It could be something for this year and a couple of years.
yeah. Yeah, one's definitely right now is the biggest one. Is definitely like win the national championship. I think our team has the talent to do it, and it's kind of just coming together. Like we're going through a rough spot right now. Just kind of coming together, coming back from this. I mean, we all feel pretty good about it, and I mean, once we get there, I've already been there, so I mean, we just want to win it. It's not really about getting there; it's about winning it. So that's kind of one of my goals. That's a number one goal. I would say. Number two is always. I mean, I would say this has been the same since my freshman year. Is be the best shortstop in college baseball. So I mean, that's something me and my coaches would talk about. Even high school coaches would talk about in high school, and that's something that kind of keeps me kind of straight in like where I want to be. And like if that's something I'm always building towards, then I think yeah, I'm always in a good spot. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, top, in my opinion, the top three players in college baseball are shortstop, or two of three of them are shortstops, and yeah, right up there. So we'll move on now into our pick'em, and we have a stacked slate. I think this might be like our best week so far going in. Last week we had Riley Quick and Will Hodo did our guest pick'ems. This week they did decent. I think they went 6-3. Luke Hill went 7-2 in the first one. So you got some
yeah,
tough standards to beat. But we'll start off. We'll let you start off every pick. And we'll start off with LSU at Oklahoma.
yeah, I'll probably go with LSU there.
Nate loves that.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, unfortunate for who? For you, maybe. Unfortunately, Nate's a born and raised LSU fan.
gotcha.
He's happy with that. Nate, take your pick.
Now I'm going to LSU too.
Yeah. I like them. I think they go in and get it done on the road. But I think Oklahoma takes a game. I want to put it out there that it's no sweep. Then we have Duke at North Carolina. Duke coming off of a big series win this past weekend against NC State, and they go into UNC.
I think UNC. I think they're pretty. They got a good pitching staff. I think that it'll be them.
I think if DeCaro holds it down on Friday, I think they could get. I think they can get it done.
Yeah.
Nate,
I like Duke. They're on a hot one. I like Ben Miller. I think he's one of the best third basemen in the country. I think they get it done. So I
Okay.
think they can get it done.
They could. I could see them stealing two for sure. Then we have Georgia at Texas, top five series. It's a big one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna take Texas just because I mean they're at home. I think Georgia's been hot, but I think Texas has got this one at home.
I'm gonna go Georgia. For some reason however it's been, they've been finding ways to win games, and I think they find some way to take two out of three here. But I could very well see Texas grab it, like they did against LSU. I could see that series going Texas's way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texas. I think they have one of the best like pitching staffs in the country from starting to all the way to the bullpen. I think they're elite. I think they get it done. I think it honestly could be a sweep. For being realistic,
Really?
it could be a sweep.
Is there depth? I,
Texas is
I haven't
good.
watched enough. I feel like that series I was watching Tennessee Bama series more than I was watching LSU Texas series. Honestly, I didn't
Yeah,
see the Texas pitching staff. I would. I'll take Georgia. I'll ride with Georgia. I'll ride with my pick. I'll stick with it, but I would see it. Next, we have Wake Forest at FSU. I think we all know the picks here.
Yeah, I have to go Wake Forest. I have
Yeah,
to.
I do too.
I'll go Wake Forest too.
I go Wake.
I think we.
FSU didn't look that good last weekend. Last weekend against Notre Dame, they were struggling.
I agree. Were you gonna ask if it was biased or not?
What do you
No,
mean?
I was just gonna say. Yeah, I think we're gonna turn around. Probably put it on the Seminoles. So
I think so too.
yeah,
I agree. I've thought they've looked shaky at points all season, so I think this is the week where they get beat.
yeah.
Next, we have Alabama going into Auburn. Auburn coming off of a rough weekend at Georgia, but maybe they bounce back here.
Yeah, I'll go Alabama. I think they look legit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I say all that to go Bama because
I'll go Bama too.
Alabama is legit. Yeah, Riley Quick's back this weekend as well, so that'll be big for them. I think they got it. I think they sweep on the road. UC Irvine at Oregon State. That is our next series. That's a big series. UC Irvine is, I think, won nine straight now, and they enter everyone's top 15. So they play Oregon State on the road. What do you got there?
I'll take Oregon State. I haven't really seen
Yeah,
Irvine play, but I'll take Oregon State.
Nate.
I'll probably take UC Irvine. Oregon State just lost the series to Nebraska. They haven't looked good at all. UC Irvine's looked really good, so I'm gonna take UC Irvine.
I think I'm going to take Oregon State to bounce back. I think I've Arquette. I think Gav. I think Trent. Like they have too much talent in the lineup. They have Dax Whitney. They have a good pitching staff as well. I think they just got to put it together. They're finally playing at home. They have some so interesting because they're independent now. They did it to themselves, but they took so many road
Yeah, they
games,
never get home games.
and they're playing against Power Five teams pretty much every weekend. So, or well, I guess this is a mid-major team, but even a top 15 team, like I'm not putting much against them losing a lot of road series here, but I do need them to win at home, so I think they do it.
Mhm.
Next, we have Georgia Tech at Stanford, a big ACC series.
That's a kind of tough one. I think Georgia Tech. I'll take them. They look pretty good. Their lineup looks pretty good. They hit the ball well.
Yeah, I agree. I want to say like the travel really matters, but I also just think that Georgia,
It
yeah,
does.
it does. It does. We were talking about this last week actually because Stanford went into Virginia and Virginia looked horrible, got swept by BC, or I don't know if it was swept, but or got smoked in two games at home by BC, and then made Stanford look real bad. But I don't know. I think
I'm gonna take Stanford
you're gonna
just
say
because of what you said. That's a
I,
long ways to play. The time difference is crazy. I'm gonna take Stanford. I don't know a lot about Stanford though. That's just
I
the
mean,
thing.
they're decent, but actually, you know what? I'll ride with it. I'll take Stanford. It's a good series, though. I could see it going both ways. That would be fun. I might actually watch a lot of that. Next, we have Arizona at Arizona State. Another decently big series, I guess, for the Big 12.
I think Arizona here. That's what I think.
I think Arizona bounces back. They lost 2 out of 3 at Baylor, but I think they'll take 2 out of 3 here.
No, I think Arizona State. I've been high on them all year since the very like opening day. I've been high on them, so I think they get it done.
I,
Arizona State.
I could see it. And then our last series, we got some mid-major madness with Western Kentucky at Dallas Baptist. Ooh, it's a fun series.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one actually.
I think Dallas Baptist. That's what I think.
Dallas Baptist at home, I could see it, but
WKU is really good.
yeah, I was
I don't know
gonna.
why no one's talking about them.
Yeah, we could have ranked them.
They're like 25 and like 3. Something crazy.
I
Just
haven't heard of them.
yeah, they're good, but I don't know. Dallas Baptist is gonna be tough too. I think they're both gonna be they're both gonna be at the top of that conference. I'm gonna go Western Kentucky, but
Yeah,
it's close.
yeah, I'm probably gonna go Western Kentucky too. They just been hot. They can hit the ball. They hit the ball. They score like 8 runs a game. They scored 8, 9 runs a game. They hit the ball. So that's what they need to do to beat DBU.
Yeah, DBU has been in a lot of low scoring games this year. Their pitching staff has held them down for them. So if Western Kentucky can do their thing on offense, then yeah, I could see it happening. I think Nate, do you have anything else you want to ask? But I think that's all I
Yeah,
got.
I didn't get to ask earlier. Is there like a as someone in the MLB, someone retired that you resemble your game after that you look and like you try to like master their craft?
Um, yeah, I mean, I would say when I was kind of at that age, I was watching like the College World Series, like Dansby Swanson was playing. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I remember him playing kind of just the way he plays defense, kind of reminds me of me a little bit. So, I mean, he was a guy I looked up to. When I was a little younger, probably like middle schoolish. So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say him.
Hmm. That's
Um,
it. That's all I got.
yeah, I don't have anything else. We didn't get. We got. Let me see what fan questions we got. Actually, we might have something. Um, I didn't see many when I looked last. Oh, okay. Here we have. Uh, yeah, we could do this since you follow and watch. Who are and we can you can include yourself or you don't have to include yourself. Um, who are three of the top or three of your favorite players to watch across the country in college baseball?
Yeah, I have to think about that. I think Drew Burris is pretty cool to like. I mean, yeah, I've seen what he's been doing lately. He's pretty fun to watch.
Mhm.
Who else? Uh, I would say who do I watch? I would say Daniel Dixonson's pretty fun to watch. I would say I was his. I say that because he was my roommate at USA. He was pretty cool. But I've been watching LSU. I got a couple teammates from the Cape on there, so I watched them a little bit. They're fun to watch. I would say he's a good player for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and three would be I would say Ethan Conrad. He's played with him in the Cape. So that's when I first got to know him. And then
Yeah.
since he's been here, he's been great. So I mean, I think he's a unique player. Just kind of how he plays the game. He's pretty fun to watch. I would say.
Some Mac Madness came from Marist.
Yeah.
Like Ethan. And that's all we got for you. I appreciate the time. Any last words? We always like to do this. Any last words for anyone watching? Anything? Could be a joke.
Thank you guys for watching. That's about it.
Yeah, that's all we got. Follow Eric on Instagram. It's going to be in the description. Check him out on ESPN Plus. This episode will be out on Thursday, so you guys will see him all weekend long at FSU. And then, yeah, that's all we got for you. Hope we can have you on maybe after the draft, before the draft, and we'll do something in person because we'll be around stuff all off season. But we'll talk to you. And
Sounds good.
appreciate you for coming on. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. We'll be back soon with another episode.